Welcome to Tech Talks, Evolving Distribution. I'm Corey Hayes, and with me is Bill Rosado. Today, we're exploring how digital transformation is reshaping the distribution industry.
That's right. From e-commerce platforms to CRM tools, we talk with industry experts about how distribution can embrace these changes and thrive in the ever-changing space.
Whether you're just getting started or looking for new insights, we've got you covered. Today's episode is packed with information to help you navigate the digital shift.
So let the tech talk begin.
Hello, everybody. As I like to say, good morning, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're tuning in. We appreciate you for jumping on and listening to another Tech Talk Evolving Distribution episode. Your host, Corey Hayes, as always, alongside Bill Rosado. Bill, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful. Just a wonderful day.
Awesome. Yeah, it's can't complain too much. You know, starting to change into fall, starting to get a little cooler. It's a nice time of year. Postseason baseball's here, football's going. It's a happening time. So I'm excited. And then we also have alongside of us John Spence from Hart Industries. John, how are you today?
Awesome, doing well. Really love the fall weather. I live in Florida, so it's still blazing hot. But football, right? You gotta love it. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing good. Excited for this conversation. Full transparency. Just met John right before this call, but he's been a longtime partner with us over at Hart Industries. Learned a little bit about what it is that you do, and I got to tell you, within the first just few seconds of talking to you, I got really excited for what you're going to bring to this episode and what we're going to talk about. So, why don't you start off? Just tell us a little bit about yourself, about your own journey to where you are. Tell us about Hart Industries, what you do at Hart Industries, and just welcome us to who John Spence is.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's John Spence. I'm the IT systems leader at Hart Industries, which is very generic, but what it's evolved into is kind of this digital transformation specialist. I do EDI, CRM, ERP stuff, all the other acronyms you can think of. But most importantly, recently is e-commerce and digital marketing, just kind of whatever needs to be plugged in. Hart Industries is a hose supplier based in Ohio. We've got 8 branches all across the U.S., servicing U.S., Mexico, Canada. A lot of our business comes from tank trucks and chemical distribution, and that's what we do. Up to this point, I think our online presence has been pretty slim, but we're working on increasing that and really getting it out there. I started Hart in, what was it, August of 24. So super recently, just out of college, as a part-time EDI project. But the thing about EDI is that once it's set up, it's very automated. Mm-hmm. So I did it for a couple of weeks and I was like, wow, I need something to do. So I started getting into e-commerce and all the Aldrich stuff, and ended up doing some SEO and marketing. And now I'm full-time as of April of 25 and have just been on the grind trying to future-proof the company and really push us into the digital and AI age. So it's been great up to this point, but still a lot to do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for jumping on. Go ahead.
So one of the things we talk about internally and externally, Corey and I do try is how do we bring talent to an industry that probably isn't the sexiest industry out there, right?
Yeah.
You graduate college, you're not raising your hand going, hey, I just want to be a hoser, right? How can I get into hose distribution? So can you tell us a little bit like what brought you to Hart Industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Right out of college, I was working at a coffee shop. I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I was like IT related stuff, but luckily I have a family member who has been at Hart for 25 years, and they're like, hey, we have this tech opportunity and you do tech. And, EDI isn't something you study in college. It's very niche, but I was like, sure, I'll take a crack at it. I feel like you never see like job postings or talk about distribution and stuff. It's, again, very niche and stuff. And I think the people that have been in distribution have been in it forever. You don't have a lot of guys that have been doing it for 1 or 2 years. It's, 20 plus, 30 plus years. So as far as getting into it, it's just about who you know, making connections. There's a lot of opportunities in the field. There's positions that need to exist that don't yet exist. Nobody thought 2 years ago there'd be an IT leader at Hart, but here I am, pushing it and meeting goals. But it's just about wiggling yourself in there. And I think especially the next couple of years, as the distribution industry gets more involved in tech, these positions will start to open up. Not just IT stuff, but marketing, other branches owners of these operations do, but really need to be separated.
Yeah, we've definitely seen in general, just a digital shift in our industry for sure, which is really why we started this podcast, because we've seen a lot of distributors have some hiccups, but also a lot of distributors do it really, really well. So trying to create a space for the conversation to happen where things that we've learned from, things that we've done right, things that we've done wrong, and how we can help each other as an industry. So being on the front line of Hart Industries, and you're saying within the last 2 years, so all of this is relatively new for you guys. And you might feel like you're probably learning on the go at times, but it's great to have your input in this, because I'd love to hear like what challenges have you seen as Hart has updated and as you have been on the front line of that. What challenges have you seen in your guys' digital transformation projects?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think, full disclosure, I've probably watched every episode of TED Talk, and everybody says this, but it's change management.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned earlier, everybody who's in distribution, or at least the majority, have been in for a long time. And, if it works, don't change it, But, I grew up in the South. It's, the big saying was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But, for me, it's always been, if it ain't broke, make it better.
Yeah.
We spend too much time, answering phone calls to do payments or putting in orders that don't need to be put on. And that distracts us from what's important, our customers. Every minute you're not doing some manual task, you're building these customer relationships, which are going to be so important as we move forward. I mean, the next 5 years in tech and AI are going to be crazy. So really locking it down now is going to be great. But circling back, change management has been the biggest thing. And then I think just looking towards the future is really hard. We get so wrapped up in the day-to-day, sales and stuff. And, it's time to start future-proofing your brand and whatnot. In the end, I mean, we all want to be here. We all want to keep doing this, but it's gotten to the point you have to do it digitally. Magazines are less common and stuff. So, really important stuff coming up.
I like that. Future-proof your business.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's great stuff.
Yeah. Future-proof. I mean, you're spot on, right? We see that as a challenge, right, in our community, that some people aren't doing the future-proofing their business. So what do you see that makes a successful project?
Kind of, again, depends on how you measure success. But I think, thinking about the future of things and again, this kind of goes back to what I said earlier, but, not thinking about the day-to-day, but the future of things. You can hit sales KPIs and those are important and whatnot, but there's some things that just aren't measurable. There's so much psychology that goes into B2B purchasing or purchasing from a distributor and all of it that we just don't think of because we can't really measure customers' journey very well. So, I think lately, especially this summer, has been understanding our customers, making them the focal point of what we do. Because people are going to, if their needs aren't being met, they're going to leave no matter what your prices are, no matter how useful A or B thing is. Ironically, I think I just watched the Tech Talk this morning where the guest had said something about a grocery store. They have 45 or something self-checkouts and 3 grocers, I guess.
Yeah.
And, people prefer those grocers. They like that interaction. because they're used to it. They like that feeling, even if quick and convenient isn't easy. But we're at this stage where some people like quick and convenient. Some people like the more humanized side of things, especially when 90% of the content you're seeing all the time is AI generated. You know, and then I guess, yeah, going back to the question, I think a successful project is really a project that's customer focused, that supports the company's goals, and it's not its own thing.
And
Let's dig into that.
Really hits the nail on the head is that so we have a change, right? A generational shift. And you're right, there are people that still want that human touch, but there's a huge group of people that are coming into buying decisions that do just want it quick and easy, and they're looking for a digital path, right? They're not looking for a manual path. They're looking for a digital path in order to get things done.
And something that you said that stuck out to me was, you guys asked yourself, what are our customers looking for? How can we better serve our customers? And made it really about them. I guess I'm interested to learn a little bit more about that. Like what questions, when you guys were meeting as an internal team, what questions were you asking yourself to figure out, how to grow those relationships with your customers? What was your approach to understanding your customers' needs, and how did you guys really tackle that issue?
I think feedback is so essential when you're doing any digital project, whether that be internal or external. I'll give you an example. We were, picking through CRM systems a couple months ago and kind of looking into things. And, if nobody on the team likes it or can utilize it efficiently, why are you going to go with that technology? We'll send customer feedback for website experience, customer feedback for what you thought of the last email marketing content, things like that. Whether that be scales or direct typing stuff, there's so many ways to measure that, because you can guess all day long, like, wow, I really think they liked this title or this content. But until you actually sit down and be like, hey, what did you think of this? Is this something that would be beneficial for you? Is it something that would make you buy our products? That's what's going to win in the end, is being customer focused and getting feedback from customers, not thinking too heavy on demographics and stuff like that. I think our business, 90% of our business comes from repeat customers, because even before, we digitized everything like we're doing now, it's always like, did you have a good experience with us? And that also, as a customer, it means like you're taking time, to give that feedback and improve their experience. Like, yeah, I'm going to come back because I also know it's going to be better next time.
Yeah. And I think that's a really big, important part of that, is as your customers are engaging in conversation, to be a sponge and soak up the information and actually form to better fit, what the needs are. Because I think a lot of times, kind of to your point, we get stuck in the day-to-day, we get stuck in the ins and outs of distributorship. And sometimes it's really easy to focus on just what's right in front of us at the moment that it is right in front of us. And I think that's true of just human nature, to be honest with you. I don't know that anybody really does that on purpose. It's just how we act, and it's just how we function. But to actually take time, understand the needs of the people that you're serving, and then take the role of a servant leader and find routes and avenues that best fit the people that you're serving, and being that sponge, taking the information, forming it in ways that really change not just your internal mechanics, your internal mechanisms, but create a better output for the people that you're serving, I think is a really, really key component. So great feedback. Yeah. So out of all the things you said, and I know you've said some like nice, like heavy hit slogans, but future-proof your business. If it ain't broke, make it better, that kind of thing. What is like the one biggest thing? What's the one biggest tip that you would give companies that are looking to start embarking on this journey? So think back, when Hart didn't have anything, when you were fresh, new, what were you thinking in that situation? And if you could tell somebody, hey, you really need to do this, what would be that one thing?
Yeah. I think I'm going to hit you with a whole new topic this time, but
okay.
One of the biggest things I've done, especially being fresh out of college and stuff, is never stop learning. Everything's changing every week, all day. When I started Hart, AI wasn't nearly the same thing as it is today, and that goes for marketing, e-commerce. Everything's so different, and to keep up, you've got to keep educating yourself. I think that's very big, especially with younger generations. Is that self-improvement and the educating, no matter what it is. But things are, changing, and they're going to keep changing. But don't settle with like, oh, I learned about digital marketing, I'm good for the next 5 years, because you aren't. There's so much to it. Technology is changing everything. It's changing fast. So it's important to keep up with just everything in general that's going on within tech, within marketing, within distribution. But don't stop learning.
And how have you personally taken steps to educate yourself? What are things that you've done and resources that you've used to educate?
Tech Talks for one. There isn't anything else there about tech and distribution. Shameless plug, but I'm so serious. This has not just been a source for learning, but an encouragement for learning. I think I know stuff, and then I watch a tech talk. I'm like, I should really look into that. So it's good stuff there. There's plenty of free resources, especially for marketing and stuff. HubSpot's a good one for videos and stuff. I mean, part of my job description is learning new stuff, during my work hours, and setting time aside to learn about the changes in the world. For shameless plug, I almost forgot to put it in here, but for those hosers out there, if you'd like to learn more about hose, Hart Industries just launched their first podcast, Hart's Industrial Hose Show, covering all things hose, not just hose itself, but things in the background, hose business, hose safety. I'll announce it first here. The plan is to have a episode about co-ops here soon, so stick around for that in the next couple of weeks. But
that's awesome.
So you call it a shameless plug. I was getting ready to ask you to talk about it, so I appreciate that you jumped ahead. Right? I didn't have to ask the question. Hey, tell me about the podcast, right? So because we're excited to see that as a super fan, right? You're watching our podcast, that you guys end up launching your own podcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think as far as marketing goes, distribution it's very much educational articles and things like that. It's always been that. When you're a distribution partner and you're on LinkedIn, it's interesting, of course, but people want to see videos. They want to see carousel images. And I was like, what's a better way to get a little bit of video content than to do a podcast? People want to, there's so much knowledge in all these people's brains that just isn't on the internet. And I just want to extract that and put it here so we can have it forever. That's the one thing that worries me, is people will retire and the information will go with them. Yeah. It's not documented anywhere. And I was like, I need that data. There's so much I can learn from you. So hopefully hosers in the hose industry can start to learn a lot more about kind of the background and things about hose.
Well, I think that's it. The number one best way to learn is to have conversation, and to actually interact with people, especially the people that have been there, done that, and have the t-shirt. I think that we also have a responsibility as the younger generation in the workforce. We have a responsibility to glean from other generations, to learn how they've had successes, because even though we are having a digital shift and the world is pushing into more, distributor world is pushing more into this digital shift, I still think that there's a ton of value and just absolute gold nuggets that we can get from people that have, paved the way for us, and we can stand on their shoulders and learn from their successes and learn from their failures. So I commend you for doing that, John. That's awesome. It's crazy to think that Bill said, we have a super fan. That's crazy to think that Tech Talks has a fan, but I appreciate you being a part of our conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. It was surreal when Bill reached out and I was like, oh, it's my favorite show ever. I'm going to be on it. It's so funny, but I'm glad to be here. And a lot of what I've said today is just conclusions I've drawn from other Tech Talks. So it's been good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, if there's anything
to have you on here.
Yeah. If there's anything that I could encourage the listener to do, I know we have conversations sometimes at high levels, really dig down what this means for your specific business, what this means for your specific role in your company, and try to learn more, try to educate yourself, be a part of the conversation, use the people that are around you, and have conversations that and glean from that. So John, thank you so much for being on today. Remind me the name of your podcast. Let's end with that.
It's Hart's Industrial Hose Show.
And can you find it anywhere podcasts are?
Right now, just YouTube, but expect Spotify and all your other places here in January of 26.
Awesome. Well, go be a part of that conversation. And we thank you for being a part of this one here at Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. We will see you next time. Look for episodes every first and third Thursday of the month. We got new ones coming up. We've got some really exciting conversations to push your way. So we will see you next time here at Tech Talks. Bill, anything to send us off with?
No, like I've said this multiple times, John, we appreciate you being on, and we really appreciate your support in the industry, right? And how we can bring more youth into the industry that really is going to drive digital transformation forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.
No problem. Appreciate it. Everybody have a wonderful day. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Tech Talks Evolving Distribution. Thanks for tuning in.
And we hope you've gained some valuable insights on how to embrace digital transformation and stay ahead in the distribution industry.
A special thanks to our sponsor, Aldrich Web Solutions, for supporting this podcast. With over 20 years of experience, they've been helping distributors win online and maximize their digital presence. Be sure to check them out if you're ready to take your business to the next level.
And if you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave us a review. And of course, share this with anyone who could benefit from this conversation.
We'll be back next time with more expert insights. And until then, keep evolving and embracing change.